Yo, what is up, guys? XRP is at $1.11 right now in CoinMarketCap. Our first tweet comes from the Crypto Squire. Clarity isn't dead. The biggest obstacle to the Clarity Act isn't the bill itself. It's the ongoing negotiations over ethics provisions. According to Crypto in America, talks are still active, meaning the path forward remains open. Our next tweet comes from Mr. Poole. New XRP prediction. Jake Claver just dropped a wild scenario. If adoption, regulation, and liquidity flood the market, XRP could aim for 1500 to 2500 by 2026. Sounds crazy until it isn't. Watch close. Let's watch this video.
Last one, last but not least, end of 2026, XRP price prediction.
Oh boy, I rapid fired the rest of them, so might as well. All of these are optimistic, okay? These are all optimistic, based on a lot of liquidity moving into crypto. We're getting regulation, we're getting adoption, all those things. So if none of that happens, these prices are null and void. But XRP, I think 4 digits in 2026. $1,500, $2,000.
Smash that subscribe button and hit that like button if you believe XRP will reach $3 again this year. Our next tweet comes from Crypto Barbie. Huge news. 50 out of 52 Republicans will vote in favor of the Clarity Act. Next week will be massive. Our next tweet comes from Bitcoin Magazine. Just in, ICE, NYSC, and OKX joint venture co-chair Andrew Cuomo talks Clarity Act on Fox. The US should pass the Clarity Act. The rest of the world is ahead of us. Let's watch this video.
I am doing what I did when I was in government. I was a regulator. I was the regulator. I was the New York Attorney General, as you know. I regulated securities. I was the Housing and Urban Development Secretary before that, regulated the housing market, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Right. As governor, regulated the crypto market, insurance banks. So I think I bring that expertise. We want to do this, but we want to do this safely, and we want to do it right. We want the rules in place. The U.S. should pass the Clarity Act. Yep. The rest of the world is already ahead of us. Europe, for example, has ESMA, has MiCA 2.
Our next tweet comes from Crypto Barbie. Just in, Clarity Act Senate floor vote to come next week. Says former CFTC commissioner. It's happening this year. Our next tweet comes from Bitcoin Magazine. Just in, Circle CEO talks Genius Act and Clarity Act on CNBC. Once the Genius Act goes into effect in January, every major institution, every major bank, every capital markets firm, payments companies, enterprises can now all build on this infrastructure. Let's watch this video.
Custody, digital assets, stablecoins, other tokenized assets, and it gives us the infrastructure to manage USDC directly as the largest regulated digital dollar in the world.
So but a lot of people thought that was what the Genius Act did, and what the Clarity Act, which is, I don't know if it's going to pass or not, is going to do. What?
Well, the Genius Act set the federal law. Under the federal law, a stablecoin issuer, a large stablecoin issuer, must be supervised by a national bank regulator like the OCC. So we need to fit into their glove, as it were, and the right way to do that is as a national trust bank. And so we are basically conforming with the law, which will go into effect in January of 2027. So the implementation really requires us to evolve our own kind of fiduciary and regulatory apparatus as well.
So then next steps are?
Well, I mean, look, right now, we're in my view, still the very early stages of the stablecoin market. It has really been a market that grew out of the digital asset trading market. It's now becoming a market for payments. It's now penetrating capital markets with major capital markets firms. But once the Genius Act goes into effect in January, every major institution, every major bank, every capital markets firm, payments companies, enterprises, public companies can all now build on this infrastructure, treat it as digital cash in the economic system. And that's a huge opening up. And that's why, analysts, look at this from $1 trillion to several $1 trillion in the coming years. So we're at the start. And so for us, it's getting the infrastructure right, getting the regulatory infrastructure right all around the world, getting the technology right, and then building the right global partnerships as well.
Our next week comes from Smoke DQG. DTCC, with these initial limited production trades now complete, our focus turns to the anticipated October 2026 launch of the DTCC tokenization service. Documented. Our next tweet comes from Crypto Barbie. Ripple director has revealed that financial titans like MasterCard, BlackRock, and Franklin Templeton are showing interest in the XRP ledger. All these institutions are waiting for regulatory greenlight. The Clarity Act will fix this. Let's watch this video.
What does this mean for XRP holders? Do you think it's like a bet on XRP is a bet on this infrastructure for the future?
I think that, first of all, the important thing to remember is the XRP ledger is an L1 decentralized protocol. where the XRP is the bridge currency to complete a lot of the transaction and a lot of the settlements that are taking place on it. So it's kind of like, before you look at it, one way to look at it obviously is an asset you hold, but from the other side, it is an extremely essential functional pillar within the wider XRPL ecosystem and with the ever increasing list of use cases, products, and offering that are being developed for the financial service world.
Okay, can you sort of give us some sort of example? Right, there's been a lot of big names: Visa, Mastercard, BlackRock. We've had Franklin Templeton, all in the building over the past 2 days. Are they showing an interest in XRP Ledger?
Absolutely. The XRP Ledger, again, was designed from inception to support different use cases around cross-asset transfer and payment.
Wow.
So there was, I think, one of the first ledger that was launched, like I said, in 2012, from inception to support this industry. So it has a lot of features that are pre-embedded on the native protocol level that support enterprise-grade use cases, whether this is the pre-built AMM, the pre-built DEX, the ongoing long list of additional product roadmap that we have to support KYC aspect, to support trust lines.
Yeah, well, they like that, isn't it? So from the foundational building of this, you're kind of possibly working within regulatory frameworks or within sort of the prospect of future working with regulatory frameworks.
Absolutely. This is the blockchain built for the financial service.
Our next tweet comes from the Crypto Square. Ripple Prime. Ripple Prime has been shortlisted for multiple HedgeWeek US Awards 2026, including Prime Broker of the Year. Another sign that Ripple continues expanding its institutional presence across traditional finance. XRP is becoming part of the infrastructure. Our next tweet comes from Bitcoin Magazine. Just in, Coinbase Vice Chair talks Clarity Act on CNBC. The Democrats have obtained meaningful concessions to make what was already a strong consumer protection bill that much stronger. Let's watch this video.
But the true measure of a bipartisan bill is not whether everyone gets what they want. It's whether ultimately Americans will be better protected compared to the status quo. And there's actually no meaningful debate in that space. This is going to create, for the first time, a comprehensive federal framework and oversight over the crypto space. And Joe, I think it's important to remember, it's not about no regulation. This is about imposing regulation on the industry for the first time. And so you have a unique opportunity for the trifecta win-win-win. American investors, American innovators, and American standards get to prevail if we get this bill passed.
What will be in the Senate bill that was not in the House bill that Democrats want?
Well, interestingly, in the last few weeks and months, we've seen the Democrats obtain meaningful concessions to strengthen the consumer protection provisions of this bill. You have an illicit finance framework that's been created. You have an FTX loophole that's being closed to prevent things like FTX from happening again. You have insider trading, safeguards, and more disclosure. So really across the board, the Democrats have obtained meaningful concessions to make what was already a strong consumer protection bill that much stronger.
Will there be a change to how crypto is classified in terms of commodities, securities?
Not fundamentally. I mean, first and foremost, you're still going to have the registration, examination, and surveillance infrastructure that was part of the House bill. But the Democrats, what they have done in these additional negotiations is make sure that you have more teeth to make sure that customers are ultimately better protected. Because at the end of the day, this is about customer protections. The status quo lacks this infrastructure, lacks these protections. And the Democrats used this opportunity wisely to make sure that customers were first and foremost in getting this bill.
I mean, banks aren't going away, crypto's not going away. How is that going to reconcile itself with people like Jamie Dimon? How can we all get along?
It actually is reconciling itself, because if you look below the headlines, what you are seeing institutionally is a wide array of investments and partnerships with companies like Coinbase. Not a week goes by, Joe, even on your show, where someone isn't announcing some new project or investment into crypto. And we're having an inevitable convergence where a few years from now, we're not talking about traditional finance and crypto. We're simply just talking about modern financial institutions, because it appears every modern financial institution recognizes what Coinbase did nearly 15 years ago, which is it's simply a question of when, not if, everyone adopts crypto and the blockchain technology that...
Real quick, if this helped, press the like button. It tells YouTube to show this to people who want the truth, not hype. And press the subscribe button if you're done being sold the moon. I've already got your next one right here. Go!